Hello and welcome. I'm Lisa with Home vs. House, and on today's video I'm going to share with you what I'm doing with my dining room space for the winter. I'm also going to share some DIY and thrifty ideas for a tablescape and a corner shelving unit. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are joining me for the first time, welcome. I invite you to subscribe to my channel as well as like and comment on this video. If you are returning, thank you so very much for coming back. I appreciate your support. So guys, without further ado, here's the look. Guys, here is my winter dining room tour, and I'm going to start off with this table setting. So I decided to go with all neutral and a pop of green. So I have a pretty small dining room, and I like to keep it really neutral. In fact, I like to keep most of my living space really neutral with about 1 or 2 pops of color. So today I decided to do green as my pop of color for this winter season. So over here I have this cloth table mat, and these I think I picked up at TJ Maxx at the end of last winter season. The cloth napkins was a DIY project that I made using some fabric that I picked up at Walmart in the fabric section, and I think I might have paid about $3 for maybe 1.5 yards, and this was just left over from a project I was doing with that fabric. Most of my napkins in my tablescape, actually all of my napkins, are DIY projects that I just do. It's quick and easy, and it's really cost effective. The charger are some silver Dollar Tree charger that I picked up some years ago. The plates were thrifted. And these glasses were also thrifted. I try to look for color glasses when I'm at the thrift store to do my tablescape. This faux tree was also a thrifted item that it originally started off as a thrifted item, and then I also did some DIY work with it to get it to look like this. And then my sleigh was a thrifted project that I ended up also doing some DIY work on. The table, I think I had mentioned this in another video. The table I had gotten from a friend of mine a couple of years ago, and end of this summer or last summer I used some citrus strip to get the stain off of it so I can give it this kind of driftwood natural look. The chairs were thrifted, and I did the same thing to the seat of the chair. I used some citrus strip to get it to kind of a driftwood color to match the table. So guys, this is it for the table portion of it. If we come around to this side, here is my cabinet that I got from a friend of mine a couple of years ago, and this at the end of last summer painted it over this eggshell kind of off-white color. And this is where I have most of my dishes that I use regularly. So I often would have like Sunday dinners or Sunday lunch with my family and I, and these are the dishes that we typically will use. This mirror on here, so this was, hopefully you can see it. This was a recent Restore purchase. So I saw this mirror at the Restore for weeks on end, and it was about $32, and I just decided I didn't want to spend that amount for a thrifted item. I really liked the piece, but I just didn't want to spend that much money for it. So I just kind of waited. I actually put it to the back of other mirrors and other things, and I just kept on checking on it, and then eventually after several weeks I went back and it was marked down to 75% off. So I ended up getting it for $8 and some change. So definitely a price that I would pay for a thrifted item, and I just really like it on this wall and how it just stands alone by itself on there. If we come around to this corner, so this was a corner shelf that I purchased well over 10 years now. It was a dark wood stain, and I ended up painting it some of the same paint that I use for this cabinet over here, and the paint I just picked up at Walmart. And then I just have a snake plant sitting in a planter. Guys, this planter was actually an ice box that I picked up from the Salvation Army last summer, and I just like the natural wood stain on the outside, and so I decided to use it as a planter, and the inside is a thick plastic. Down here I have a couple thrifted items. I think the pair was actually a gift several years ago. Down at the bottom here, I just have a glass candle holder with a faux birchwood candle. And then this greenery I had picked up from Family Dollar at the beginning of the holiday season. And it's sitting, the candle holder is sitting on a couple of cookbooks. Down below is my little metal, I guess, church building. And it's sitting on a project that my son did for me when he was in high school a few years ago. He had made a cutting board, and I've actually never used it as a cutting board. It's a family joke. That's what it intended to be, and instead I use it as a riser for my home decor. So, and then I just have this a scented candle on here. So guys, that is really it for my dining room. I have my kitchen sitting off my dining room, and that's going to be another upcoming video on some of the DIY projects that I did in here. So I hope that this video inspired you to get creative with your space using thrifty items and DIY items. Take care, guys, and I will see you on the next video.